Every morning, you wake up with two choices: to rise as the warrior of your purpose or to crawl back into the shadows of your excuses. The truth is, the weaker version of you is always waiting to pull you back into comfort, delay, and doubt. But you weren't made for that life. You were built for impact, discipline, greatness. And the only way forward is by killing that weaker version of you every single morning before the world gets a chance to shape your day. This is your sacred battle, your personal ritual, your daily rebirth. If you want a life of strength, peace, power, and purpose, then you must go into the arena of your own mind and slay these 12 enemies of growth before they ever get the chance to rise. Number 1, kill excuses before they speak. Every single morning, before your feet even hit the ground, the weaker version of you is already at work, whispering reasons why today doesn't have to be the day. Why you're too tired, too unprepared, too broken, too busy. Excuses are liars in disguise, soft, persuasive lies that come dressed as logic, comfort, and even self-care. But at their core, they are nothing more than fear wearing a mask. The moment you allow one excuse to breathe, you've already given your power away. Excuses don't wait until noon. They show up before sunrise. And if you're not ready to shut them down instantly, they will multiply like a virus and take over your entire mindset. That's why you must kill excuses before they speak. Don't entertain them. Don't analyze them. Don't wrestle with them. Execute them on sight. Discipline doesn't negotiate with delay, and greatness never argues with laziness. You must become a mental assassin when it comes to your goals. No hesitation, no second guessing. When the excuse says, you didn't sleep well, you say, get up anyway. When it says, you'll start tomorrow, you reply, I'm already late. You train your mind, not by what you tolerate, but by what you eliminate. The problem isn't that you have excuses. The problem is that you believe them. Every excuse you allow becomes a brick in the wall separating you from your potential. You must decide what matters more: comfort or conquest, mediocrity or mastery, fear or freedom. You kill the weaker version of yourself every morning by making one powerful decision. I do not wait for motivation. I move because it's time. I show up even when it's inconvenient. I act because I said I would. The difference between winners and wishers lies in that sacred, silent moment where one person shuts down the excuse and steps forward, and the other lets it speak and steps back. Kill excuses before they speak, because once they do, they will charm you into staying the same. And nothing kills destiny faster than believing a lie that sounds reasonable. You are stronger than your feelings, greater than your doubts, and tougher than your reasons to quit. Silence the voice of weakness. Replace it with the roar of purpose. Because once you kill the excuse, all that's left is the truth. You can, you must, and you will. Every single morning, without apology. Number 2, kill the need for validation. If you want to rise into the strongest, most unstoppable version of yourself, you must kill the need for validation before it becomes your silent addiction. Because the weaker version of you craves approval like a drug, needing likes, praise, permission, and applause just to take the next step. The problem is, when you live for validation, you die by rejection. You become a puppet of public opinion, shaping your identity around how others see you instead of how truth defines you. The world is noisy, but your soul is louder, if you're brave enough to listen. Seeking constant validation is the behavior of someone who hasn't yet remembered their worth. It makes you reactive instead of grounded, insecure instead of intentional. The strongest version of you doesn't need permission to shine. It gives itself the right to move forward, even in silence, even when no one's watching, even when the crowd is absent. The applause is not your fuel, your purpose is. The weaker version of you hesitates until someone approves. But greatness doesn't wait for compliments. It walks in confidence, born from conviction. When you kill the need for validation, you take your power back from every person who never understood your vision, from every silence that made you doubt yourself, from every moment you let a compliment determine your self-worth. Stop looking outward for the confirmation you already carry within. The truth is, not everyone will clap, and not everyone's meant to. Some people will ignore your progress just to protect their own insecurity. That's not your concern. You weren't called to impress, you were called to impact. Kill the urge to explain, to prove, to perform for attention. Instead, rise in alignment with who you know you were created to be. There's a dangerous freedom in no longer needing to be understood. Once you kill the need for validation, you become untouchable, not because you don't care, but because you're anchored in something deeper than approval. Let the weaker self die. The one that hesitated, posted for likes, changed course for applause, or stayed silent out of fear. Let that version go. You are enough, with or without the crowd. You are powerful, with or without recognition. You are chosen, even when unseen. Walk in that truth. Own that confidence. Because once you stop seeking validation, you start leading from authenticity. And nothing is more magnetic, more dangerous, and more divine than a soul that doesn't need to be told it's worthy to believe that it is. Number 3, kill comparison. Comparison is the silent killer of joy, purpose, and potential. And if you don't kill it first thing every morning, it will creep in and poison your perspective before the day even begins. The weaker version of you is addicted to looking left and right, scrolling endlessly, measuring your worth against someone else's highlight reel, forgetting that your journey was never meant to match theirs. Comparison shrinks your gratitude, blinds you to your own progress, and convinces you that what you have is not enough, that who you are is somehow lacking just because someone else seems to be shining. But you don't rise by becoming a copy. You rise by becoming the most authentic, relentless, focused version of yourself. Every second you waste comparing is a second you rob from your calling. The only person you should compare yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. And did you grow? Did you show up stronger? Did you do the hard thing even when no one saw it? That's what matters. The weak version of you feeds off envy, of the illusion that someone else's timeline is a threat to your own. But the truth is, their success takes nothing from you. You are not in a race with them, you're in alignment with your own unique timeline. Kill the lie that says you're behind. You are not behind, you are being prepared. Kill the thought that says you're not good enough. You are more than enough if you would just look inward instead of outward. The strongest version of you doesn't compete with others. It competes with the old self, with the doubt, with the fear, with the hesitation that once held you back. Stop watching people and start watching your thoughts. Stop trying to catch up and start going deeper. Social media has created a culture where we're constantly exposed to someone else's finish line while we're still building our foundation. But you must remember, roots grow in silence. Don't trade depth for attention. Don't trade becoming for performing. Kill the urge to compare. It is a trap, a distraction, a lie dressed as motivation. Real growth comes when you say, I'm not here to be better than them. I'm here to be better than who I was. That is your power. That is your peace. And when you truly let go of comparison, you step into the rare, unshakable strength of being fully, fearlessly, and unapologetically yourself. And that's when life finally starts to align. Number 4, kill the snooze button. The snooze button is not just a delay, it's a declaration that comfort matters more than commitment, that dreams can wait, that discipline can be negotiated with, and that purpose can be postponed. Every time you hit that button, you're subconsciously telling your goals, you're not urgent, and whispering to your greatness, sleep matters more than becoming. The weaker version of you loves the snooze button. It craves a few more minutes of escape, a little more time in that warm cocoon of safety. But the stronger version of you knows that the battle is won in those first few moments of the day when no one is watching, when the world is still asleep and it's just you versus your excuses. Killing the snooze button is about more than waking up on time. It's about rising on purpose. It's about becoming the kind of person who says, when I say I'm getting up, I get up. When I make a commitment to myself, I honor it. Because if you can't keep the promises you make to yourself in private, how can you expect to show up with power in public? Each time you snooze, you train your mind to delay action, to tolerate inconsistency, to weaken your own word. But when you get up with the alarm, when you rise at the first sound, no matter how tired you feel, you train your identity to match that of a champion. You build mental armor. You reclaim control. You set a tone of urgency and intent that echoes through the rest of your day. Don't underestimate this small act. It is a micro battle with massive consequences. Because if you conquer the morning, you position yourself to conquer the day. That's why you must kill the snooze button. Not gently, not gradually, but with finality. Rip it from your habits like a weed from a garden. Replace it with a morning ritual that wakes your mind, stirs your spirit, and reminds you that you are on a mission. Every second spent snoozing is a second stolen from your goals. Every morning you rise with discipline, you silence the voice of the weaker self and awaken the warrior. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings, don't reach for comfort, rise for conquest. Don't roll over, rise up. Because your future doesn't live in that extra 10 minutes of sleep. It lives in the fire of your first decision. Wake up, get up, stay up, and never look back. Number 5. Kill negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is the most dangerous enemy you'll ever face. Not because it's the loudest, but because it sounds like you. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It doesn't come from the outside world. It hides in your thoughts, dressed in familiarity, speaking the language of doubt, shame, and limitation. Every time you say to yourself, I can't, I'm not good enough, I always fail, you are casting a vote against your own greatness. You are giving strength to the weaker version of you. The one who fears rejection, who avoids challenge, who has confused comfort with peace. But here's the truth. You were not born with that voice. You were conditioned into it. Through pain, comparison, criticism, and fear. And now, if you want to rise, you must recondition your mind by killing negative self-talk before it becomes your inner belief system. Words are seeds, and when you water them daily, even unconsciously, they shape your self-image and direct your actions. That's why one of the most powerful things you can do each morning is stand guard at the gates of your mind and kill any thought, any phrase, any belief that does not serve your higher self. Don't let it live. Don't let it echo. Don't let it become your script. Replace "I'm not enough" with "I am growing." Replace "I can't do this" with "I am learning how." Speak to yourself like someone you're responsible for saving. Because you are. You are responsible for your mental environment. You are responsible for your emotional tone. And if the words within you are poisoning your potential, then silence isn't enough. You must kill them. Affirm your power. Declare your worth. Even if your voice trembles. Even if doubt still lingers. Speak the opposite of what fear says. Train your mind to echo truth louder than trauma. The stronger version of you doesn't allow negative self-talk to sit at the table of identity. It hears the lie and answers with conviction. So when the weaker voice says, "You always mess up," you respond, "I am learning fast." When it says, "You'll never be enough," you answer, "I already am." And that simple, repeated act becomes transformation. Because your mind believes what you say most often, so say what builds, what heals, what drives you forward. Kill the lie, speak the truth, and never let a voice of fear define a soul built for greatness. The fourth one. Kill the lie, speak the truth, and never let a voice of fear define a soul built for greatness. Number 6. Kill procrastination in a single. Procrastination is the silent thief of your potential. It doesn't steal your dreams all at once. It takes them piece by piece, moment by moment, under the illusion of later. And every morning that you delay action, that you choose comfort over discipline, you feed the weaker version of yourself, the one that wants the reward without the effort, the result without the grind. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. There is no magic moment when you'll feel completely ready. Waiting robs you of energy, clarity, and momentum, while action, even messy, imperfect action, gives you power. You don't overcome procrastination by thinking more, you overcome it by moving. The stronger version of you knows that delay is a lie, that every second wasted feels regret, and every second used wisely feels transformation. The task may not be easy, the motivation may not be there, but action isn't based on emotion, it's based on commitment. The weaker self tells you just do it tomorrow, but tomorrow is a myth used to justify fear. Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and before you know it, the life you wanted turns into the life you settled for. That's why procrastination must be killed, not managed, not reasoned with, not postponed, but killed the moment it shows up. You kill procrastination by shrinking the gap between decision and action. You decide, and then you move. Not after another scroll, not after another coffee. Now. Train your mind to act while it still feels resistance, because once you move, resistance loses its grip. Motion creates emotion. Discipline awakens energy. Action silences the noise. You don't have to finish everything today, but you must start. Because the cost of delay is deeper than just lost time. It's lost belief, lost confidence, lost momentum. And momentum is everything. The strongest people aren't the ones with the easiest path. They're the ones who refuse to wait for the perfect one. So make the call, write the page, do the rep, take the step, start the thing. Kill procrastination before it convinces you that waiting is wisdom. It's not. It's a slow death of purpose. Rise every morning and say to yourself, I don't wait. I don't hesitate. I execute. Because when you become the kind of person who takes immediate action, you separate yourself from 99% of the world. And that's when everything begins to change. Number 7, Kill the addiction to comfort. Comfort is seductive. It lulls you into stillness, disguises stagnation as safety, and convinces you that ease is the goal of life, when in truth, comfort is often the quiet killer of growth, purpose, and greatness. Every morning you wake up, the weaker version of you will try to seduce you back into the soft, familiar arms of ease. Sleep a little longer, play it safe, avoid discomfort, don't take risks, don't speak up, don't stretch, don't grow. But here's what you must understand. Nothing extraordinary is ever built in the comfort zone. Everything you admire, every strong body, every powerful mind, every successful soul was forged in the fire of discomfort. Growth demands friction. Transformation requires pressure. Strength is born in resistance. So if you truly want to become the strongest version of yourself, you must kill the addiction to comfort the moment it rises, because that craving for ease is the very thing keeping you average. Stop worshipping convenience. Stop choosing what feels good now over what builds greatness later. The weaker self fears struggle. The stronger self welcomes it, knowing that the pain of discipline is far lighter than the pain of regret. Kill the voice that tells you, take it easy, you've done enough. Don't push too hard. That voice is not your friend. It's the voice of your old identity, terrified of who you're becoming. True power comes from training yourself to do what's uncomfortable until it becomes your new normal. Wake up early when your body wants rest. Speak up when your mind feels fear. Push harder when your muscles scream to stop. You must become comfortable being uncomfortable, because comfort zones don't keep you safe, they keep you small. And the life you're capable of will always live just beyond your current limits. The moment you feel resistance, that's your cue to lean in, not pull back. The strong don't chase comfort, they chase growth. And growth is never convenient. So kill the addiction. Don't just step outside the comfort zone, destroy it. Make discomfort your new home, your training ground, your proving place. That's where your power lives. And when you choose discomfort every morning, when you kill the craving for easy, you unleash a version of yourself that doesn't flinch in the face of hardship, but thrives in it, rises through it, and leads others because of it. Choose growth, choose fire, kill comfort, and watch your life rise. Number 8, kill fear of failure. Fear of failure is the invisible chain that keeps most people from ever even trying. And if you don't kill it every morning, it will quietly kill your confidence, your creativity, and your calling. The weaker version of you is terrified of looking foolish, of getting it wrong, of falling short, so it convinces you to play it safe, to shrink, to stay hidden behind preparation and perfectionism. But failure is not your enemy. In fact, failure is the gatekeeper of success, the necessary teacher on the road to greatness. You cannot rise without falling. You cannot grow without mistakes. And you certainly cannot lead without learning. Every strong, successful person you admire has failed more times than they can count. But they didn't let fear make the decisions. They moved anyway. They acted anyway. They took the risk, embraced the fall, and used the pain as fuel. You must understand this. Failure is not the opposite of success. Quitting is. Fear of failure will keep you overthinking instead of doing, doubting instead of daring, but you must choose to be bold. Kill the fear by reframing it. Every failure is feedback. Every loss is a lesson. Every fall is a chance to rise stronger. The real danger is not in failing. It's in never knowing who you could have become because you were too scared to begin. You can't become your future self if you keep protecting your present comfort. Stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I miss my purpose because I never tried? The moment you stop fearing failure, you unlock limitless freedom. Because now, you're no longer attached to outcomes. You're devoted to growth. The warrior within you doesn't avoid the fall. He embraces it, knowing that the scars become stories, and the stories become strength. So take the shot. Launch the idea. Have the conversation. Apply for the role. Start the mission. The cost of failure is temporary, but the cost of fear is eternal. Kill the fear before it kills your future. Move before you're ready. Act before you're sure. Because courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to rise in spite of it. And when you kill that fear every morning, you train your spirit to chase destiny over doubt. To lean into risk with resilience, and to build a life not free of failure, but forged through it. Number 9, kill the ego that hates. The ego that hates feedback is one of the most dangerous versions of yourself. It disguises itself as strength, but in truth, it is fragile, insecure, and terrified of growth. The weaker version of you rejects correction, takes things personally, and sees every critique as an attack instead of an opportunity. That ego will keep you stuck, blind, and stagnant if you let it live. And every morning you must kill it before it takes root and infects your ability to evolve. Because feedback, real, honest, uncomfortable feedback, is the mirror that shows you where to level up. Without it, you can't sharpen, you can't expand, and you certainly can't lead. The strongest version of you doesn't fear feedback, it seeks it, knowing that greatness is not found in praise, but in pressure. When someone tells you where you can improve, it's not a threat, it's a gift. The ego says, I already know. The humble warrior says, show me more. But that mindset doesn't happen by accident. It's forged through daily death to the prideful voice that wants to be right more than it wants to be better. Kill that voice. Starve it. Replace it with curiosity and hunger. Ask yourself every day, where am I still blind? What don't I see? Who can show me what I'm missing? This isn't weakness. This is the deepest form of strength. To stay teachable, moldable, coachable. Because the moment you stop listening is the moment you stop rising. Pride builds walls. Humility builds doors. And doors lead to new levels. So stop flinching when someone gives you feedback. Stop defending your flaws. Stop hiding behind the lie that you're doing your best when deep down, you know you're avoiding growth. You don't get better by protecting your ego. You get better by surrendering it. And understand this, the people who truly want to see you grow will not always tell you what you want to hear. They'll tell you what you need to hear. And the stronger version of you will thank them, not resent them. So every morning, kill the ego that bristles at feedback. Let go of the need to always be right. Replace defense with reflection. Say to yourself, correct me, refine me, mold me. I'm here to grow. That's how you evolve. That's how you lead. And that's how you make sure your potential doesn't rot in the shadows of pride, but shines in the light of growth. Number 10, kill distractions. First thing, distractions are the enemies of purpose dressed in harmless habits. They don't show up as obvious threats, but as innocent choices. A few extra scrolls, a quick check of your messages, another video, another notification, and before you know it, the focus that was meant to build your future has been stolen by the meaningless. That's why every single morning, before the world gets a grip on your attention, you must kill distractions. ruthlessly, intentionally, and without apology. Because the weaker version of you is addicted to noise. It wants stimulation, not stillness. It wants novelty, not discipline. It thrives on the temporary high of constant input instead of the long-term power of focused output. You can't create clarity in a cluttered mind, and you can't build anything lasting when your attention is fractured into 100 pieces. The moment you wake up, you are either training your brain to react or to create, to drift or to drive. Don't touch your phone before you touch your purpose. Don't let the opinions, posts, and problems of the world hijack your inner world before your feet even hit the floor. Kill the need to check. Kill the urge to scroll. Kill the habits that train you to be distracted instead of directed. Focus is a superpower in a world of noise. And the strongest version of you knows how to guard it like a warrior. Every minute spent chasing distractions is a minute stolen from your mission. You weren't born to be busy. You were born to be effective. And effectiveness requires elimination. You have to eliminate what weakens your presence, what makes you reactive, what pulls you away from what matters. Because here's the truth. Distraction is not just a thief of time, it is a thief of identity. It slowly convinces you that shallow living is normal, that depth is optional, that urgency is unnecessary. But your purpose doesn't live in the chaos. It lives in the silence. It lives in the deep work. It lives in the undivided moment. So train yourself to begin each day like a warrior entering battle. Focused, clear, armed with intention. No noise, no nonsense, just vision, just action. Kill distractions first thing. Because if you don't, they'll kill your momentum, your peace, your discipline, and eventually your destiny. And remember, what you allow in your first hour shapes the energy of your entire day. So start strong, stay sharp, and never look back. Number 11, kill the lie that you're not ready. The lie that you're not ready is one of the most paralyzing illusions your mind will ever create. And if you don't kill it the moment you wake up, it will convince you to delay your destiny in the name of preparation, perfection, and fear. The weaker version of you will always find reasons to wait. I need more time. I need more experience. I need more confidence. But behind every one of those excuses is the same toxic belief. I'm not ready. This lie is subtle, believable, even logical, but it is rooted in fear, not truth. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. No one ever truly feels ready to rise, to lead, to take risks, to speak out, to step into a bigger version of themselves. But those who break through are the ones who act while they're still uncertain. They move while the fear is still whispering. They build while their hands still shake. You don't get ready by waiting, you get ready by doing. Clarity comes through motion, confidence comes through experience. Strength is built in the fire, not before it. So every morning, you must kill that voice that says you need more before you begin. You already have what you need. Breath, a vision, and the ability to take the first step. That's enough. The weaker version of you wants the path to be fully visible before it starts walking, but life doesn't work that way. The stronger version of you understands that faith is walking in the dark with full belief. The ground will rise to meet your feet. You must stop waiting to feel qualified and start showing up like you are already chosen, because you are. The truth is, waiting until you're ready is just a way to avoid the discomfort of growth. It's fear disguised as wisdom. So kill it, tear it down, replace it with, I am ready because I'm willing. Willing to learn, willing to fail, willing to grow. Because readiness isn't about having all the answers, it's about having the courage to start anyway. If you can do that, you'll separate yourself from 99% of people who spend their entire lives getting ready but never actually stepping in. Kill the lie, step forward, speak boldly, move with faith, because you were never waiting on the perfect moment. The perfect moment was always waiting on you. Number 12, kill the identity of who you were. Every morning you wake up, you are given a choice to continue living as the outdated version of who you were, shaped by your past mistakes, old habits, former limitations and outdated beliefs, or to step into the truth of who you are becoming. The weaker version of you clings to identity like a safety blanket. It says, this is just how I am. I've always been this way. I'm not the kind of person who can change. But that's not truth, that's bondage. You are not your past, you are not your pain, you are not your failures, your insecurities, your trauma, or even your reputation. You are a living, breathing evolution, and if you don't kill the old identity, it will kill your future. Every time you say yes to growth, the old you feels threatened. Because transformation demands a death. The death of old patterns, old language, old circles, old excuses. The version of you that doubted, feared, hesitated, self-sabotaged, and settled, that version has to die so the warrior can rise. And it won't go quietly. It will fight to survive. It will whisper lies, tempt you with comfort, remind you of every time you failed, every time you weren't enough. But that's when you stand firm and say, that's who I was, not who I am, and definitely not who I'm becoming. You must kill the identity that says you're too broken, too late, too flawed, too weak. Every day you carry the weight of who you were is a day you delay becoming who you were designed to be. Your past is a reference point, not a residence. Take the lessons, burn the rest. You're not meant to repeat the cycle, you're meant to break it. And that starts by waking up and refusing to wear the same emotional clothes, the same mental labels, the same small thinking that kept you stuck. The strongest version of you is hidden beneath layers of your old self. And if you want to access it, you must tear it down. Every single day, kill the identity of who you were with ruthless intention and replace it with the habits, mindset, discipline, and beliefs of the future you. Speak like them, move like them, decide like them, live like them. Now, don't wait for change to give you a new identity. Take that identity and let it drive the change. You are not here to repeat your history. You are here to rewrite it. Let the old you rest in peace. Today, rebirth begins. In the end, this journey of transformation begins not with a grand event, but with quiet, consistent war. The kind that takes place every single morning between who you've been and who you're becoming. The weak version of you will always wake up first, whispering comfort, fear, laziness, and lies. And but now you know better. And when you know better, you do better. Each day is your battlefield. And victory doesn't come from motivation. It comes from discipline, from eliminating what weakens your purpose and amplifying what aligns with your destiny. So kill the excuses because they delay your greatness. Kill the need for validation because your worth is already written. Kill comparison because your race is yours alone. Kill the snooze button because time is life. Kill negative self-talk because you are already equipped. Kill procrastination because later is a graveyard of dreams. Kill your addiction to comfort because growth lives in discomfort. Kill the fear of failure, because every fall is a lesson. Kill the ego that hates feedback, because truth is your ally. Kill distractions, because clarity fuels action. Kill the lie that says you're not ready, because readiness is a choice. And most of all, kill the outdated identity of who you were, because you are not bound to the past. You are born again every morning by the decisions you make. Stop waiting for a sign. You are the sign. Stop asking for permission. You have already been chosen. The weak version of you was a chapter, not the whole book. The future is calling, and it demands your strongest, most disciplined, most focused self. So rise with fire, move with courage, speak with intention, and now let us seal this path with a prayer. God, give me the strength to silence the voice of fear, the wisdom to recognize what no longer serves me, and the courage to choose discipline over comfort. Empty me of the lies I've believed, and fill me with unshakable purpose. May I rise every morning ready to slay the weak version of myself, so that your vision for my life may live. Let me become the person I was created to be, bold, focused, faithful, and free. And when I am tempted to settle for less, remind me that greatness requires sacrifice and destiny demands devotion. Today, I die to who I was, so I may rise into who I am meant to become. Amen. Now go, with power, with presence, and with purpose. The stronger version of you is waiting on the other side of the war. You choose to win each morning. Much